Welcome to the NSIC Spotlight, the voice of the NSIC student athletes, powered by gpac. gpac, growing people and companies. I'm your host, Nick Corner, Assistant Commissioner at the Northern Sun. Today, we're joined by Matt Cartwright of the Sioux Falls men's basketball team. Matt, thanks for joining us on the Spotlight.
Thank you for allowing me to be on here.
All right, as we do every week, let's start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a sixth-year grad student here at the University of Sioux Falls. I've have my majors in business and accounting, and I'm currently working on my master's in business administration.
All right, and you are a native of Sioux Falls, a former Mr. Basketball of the state of South Dakota. Give us a recap of your collegiate career up to this point and how you ended up at Sioux Falls.
Yeah, well, I started my years at Augustana University right across the street. I played 2 years there. It went really well. I had a great 4 years there actually, but my last two ended with injury. So after those two, I kind of just needed a change of scenery in that standpoint. And with my brother right across the street, I opened up my recruitment and found myself here at the University of Sioux Falls.
Dealing with those injuries for 2 years, what was the most difficult part of overcoming the injuries or dealing with that?
Honestly, just the mental side of it for me, having to sit out every day, watch practice, do PT before and after, and then not being able to help the team at all in games. It just kind of puts that barrier on you physically, and then it's also that mental side that you have to deal with as well, and that took a lot to overcome.
Well, helping the team you are now as you're the NSIC's leading scorer. You had a huge weekend last week as you averaged 38 points per game. Let's start with that 31-point performance in a 2-point win over Northern State. You hit the game winner with 20 seconds left. Just talk us through that play.
I got the ball on the right wing, I believe, and Jack Thompson, our point guard, he was talking to me. We had about 19 on the shot clock, so I was just kind of holding the ball, trying to catch my breath and preserve as much energy as I could for that last play. I remember him asking me if I wanted a ghost screen or not, and I told him no, and just kind of took matters into my own hand and thought I could get to a spot and a shot that I liked, and that gave us the best chance to win.
Yeah, you did score the lion's share of the points in that game, but talk about some of those other teammates on your team.
They've all been great. I mean, honestly, I can't thank them enough. 1 through 18 on our team all has a role to play, and they all do it very very well. They come to practice each day to compete, to push each other on both sides of the ball, and I think that plays a big role in not only my success but the team success because we all have each other's backs. We don't care who the spotlight's on. We just want to win games, and with that, we help each other excel in our own roles.
Awesome. Come Saturday afternoon, you hosted number 20 MSU Moorhead. Another big night for you as you scored a career high 45 points, including another buzzer beater. This one was to send it to overtime. Just talk us through that scenario.
Yeah, so Moorhead was at the free throw line. I remember we had about 3.9 seconds left, I want to say, on the clock. Coach Johnson was telling me I had about three dribbles before I had to get the shot off. I was just going to get it right off the inbounds. So I got the ball and I kind of started on the fast break by myself. There were a lot of hands, and I remember hearing someone yell, "Shoot it." I knew the clock was about out. So when I pulled up, I remember just slightly getting it off, and it felt good, but I knew that it was long and it ended up banking in and sending the game to overtime. So I was glad I could get that done.
Ended up being a tough loss for the Cougars in overtime. What will you be able to take away from this type of game for later in the season?
Honestly, I think it's good for our guys and our staff to know that we're one of the best teams in this league, and we proved that playing with Moorhead, who's a top team year in and year out, and they've got a very talented squad this year. So I think if we just know that we can play with the best and we practice like it, take what we learned from that loss, we can turn that into a positive as we go forward.
Only 10 games left in the regular season, if you can believe it. The Cougars sit 8-4 in the NSIC. You're atop the South Division by one game at this point. What are those team goals as we close out the regular season?
Our goal is to win the South. I think we put ourselves in a great spot for that to achieve that goal. And right now, if we just take care of business the rest of the year, I think that we can get that done. And we can also make a push to win that overall NSIC title.
Yeah, you got a good chance with that this weekend as another tough home series. You host Minnesota, Duluth, and St. Cloud State. What do you know about UMD and St. Cloud, and what will be keys for a win this weekend?
They're both great teams. They both can score the ball. Obviously, Duluth has one of the best offensive teams in the league. I think we are one of the best defensive teams. So I think that will match up well. We'll have more time to scout them throughout the week than we do St. Cloud State. But I think both games will be hard ones to win. We'll have to show up, and if we play our style and we let the game come to us and we dictate it that way, I think we have a good chance to win both games this weekend.
You mentioned style. What's the Cougar style of play, and also what's your personal style, do you feel?
Cougar style, we like to guard. Coach Johnson praises our defense and he preaches it. He loves when we sit down as a team and we can have all five guys on the same page and guard the way that we're taught, because if we do that, we know we stand a chance in every game throughout this year and within this league. My style, I obviously like to score the ball more than I do like to defend, but Coach Johnson has gotten me to try and take steps in that direction, so I can guard and help our team out on that side of the ball as well. But yeah, obviously, I like to shoot the ball a little bit more than I like to defend, but I like to work on both.
You mentioned help. How about some help for some younger players? Final question: what advice would you give to a younger player to help their development?
I would say to work in the dark, not to post every time you go to the gym or to care about, who sees that you work out or who sees that you went and shot this amount of shots, this X percent that day. Just get in the gym and grind when no one looks, and your results will show in front of all those fans and people that watch your career as you grow up.
All right, work in the dark, but play in the lights, because all of NSIC men's and women's basketball games are aired live and free on the NSIC network. Check out northernsun.org for those standing stats and more, and all things NSIC. That's going to wrap up this week's show. Thanks again to our sponsor, gpac. Matt, thanks for joining us. Best of luck to you and the Cougars the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.